this meeting to order. Thursday, December 4th, 2025, our committee as a whole, finance and administrative meeting. Ms. Coakley, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Martin,
Here.
Mr. Green, Ms. Hanson, Ms. Rutherford, Ms. Fauntleroy, Mr. Harrell, Ms. Moore, Dr. Peterson, Ms. Baker, Ms. McCullum, Ms. Lamy, Ms. Hurstis, Mr. Breaux, Mr. Kuzan, Ms. Rufino Gallagher.
Our prayer tonight will be given by members of our Sloan Middle School Lighthouse team, and our pledge tonight will be given by members of our Mandeville Elementary Lighthouse team. Would everyone please rise?
For our board meeting, we first pause to thank you for our schools, our teachers, administrators, and all staff members who work tirelessly each day to make our campuses better places for children. We are grateful for their unwavering dedication, wisdom, and commitment to always putting students first.
Lord, every opportunity that allows our St. Tammany students to grow, thrive, and find their voices and talents is a blessing from you. As our board members meet tonight, we ask that you guide them with your wisdom, help them seek first to understand, to listen, and to work in unity as they make decisions on behalf of our students. Grant them clarity and open minds as they determine which needs must take priority. May their choices be rooted in honesty, integrity, and deep sense of purpose.
We ask that you wrap your arms around our schools and sites, keeping them protected and safe as we move through this joyful holiday season. Finally, Lord, we pray for your abundant blessings as we enter the new year. All glory to you, loving God. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to make sure the parents know that that's going to be on YouTube.
All right, board members, do I have anyone who would like to recognize any visitors? Ms. Lamy?
I don't want to recognize a visitor, but I want to say, great job. Y'all just made the whole meeting better. So thank you for being here, and for praying with us and for us, and for the pledge. It was great. And I also want to say happy birthday to Bonnie Cole.
Ms. McCullum?
Yes, I would just like to welcome my Gail Sloan Middle students, Lighthouse team, their principal and assistant principal, and any parents that are with them. We welcome y'all. I'm so excited for y'all to be here, as well as the Mandeville Elementary students as well.
I would like to also welcome all of the kids and their parents, especially my Mandeville Elementary students. I see you guys all the time, and I know that you guys do such a wonderful job on the Lighthouse team, and we are very, very proud of you. And it makes me super happy to see you here and get to see you at school. I just think you guys are wonderful kids, and very glad that you're here. All right, next we have our superintendent's update. Oh, Mr. Breaux.
Yes, I want to thank Bonnie Cole for inviting me to their 50th year birthday celebration. We had a tour of the school this morning, and it's really a great festive event. And then I want to do a shout out to the Slidell High Lady Tigers who won state championship, or two-peat. Congratulations.
Anyone else? All right, now we have our superintendent update.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate it very much. I'm going to start with my update, turn it over to Ms. Gardner to introduce our Lighthouse teams and to talk a little bit about those events at Mandeville Elementary and at Sloan Middle.
Awesome. Good evening, Superintendent Jamia Board and Chair Martin. Last month, we had the pleasure of hosting Muriel Summers and Dr. David Hatch, who wrote The Leader in Me. They recently released a book called Teachers Believed in Me, and we were one of their first book launch sites. It was absolutely amazing. We all came together to have an opening presentation where they explained the book and the impact it makes when teachers truly believe in students and speak confidence into students that may have doubts and let them know that they all have genius. So I do want to thank, we had many board members that attended, so Ms. Martin was there, Ms. Lamy was there, Ms. McCullum, Ms. Baker, Mr. Green. I want to thank everybody that came and they were able to visit the schools that we attended. So we did, after the morning presentation, visit Sloan Middle and Mandeville Elementary School, as Superintendent Jabbia said, and they were absolutely blown away. So typically it takes about 5 years, 6 years more to become a lighthouse school. And when they got back in the car with me, because I drove them to the 2 locations, they said hands down those schools are ready. And what they saw, they just could not believe we have done in a 3-year time frame. So thank you to those principals, the students, the parents, everyone that's rallied behind this to show what instilling leadership skills in students can do and truly focusing on the whole child. I know that Superintendent Jabbia says that all the time. I believe in that through and through, and Leader in Me has done that. So I'm not going to steal the kids' thunder. We're going to show a video of that day, and then Sydney Allen and Phoebe Chapwe will give a little speech about what the impact of Leader in Me has done for them. So we'll start with the video from Channel 13.
I would now like to introduce our speakers today, Ms. Muriel Summers and Dr. David Hatch.
Today we came together with administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, and many participants from outside of St. Tammany Parish to hear the book launch of Teachers Believed in Me from Muriel Summers and Dr. Hatch, which is a second component of Leader in Me.
You know, one of the most rewarding things of the work that we've been involved in for almost 20 years is having an opportunity to come to places like we are here today at St. Tammany and seeing our work become a reality.
Once we gathered this morning and listened to the presentation and understand the foundation of Teachers Believed in Me, we loaded school buses and we went to 2 of our local schools. We went to Mandeville Elementary School and Gale Salone School so that the participants can actually see the impact that Leader in Me is making on every student in St. Tammany Parish.
What is so rewarding to us as educators and as speakers for Leader in Me is to see it actually alive in students.
The schools we visited today are absolutely amazing. It's the children leading and the children telling us about what's happening in their school with such pride and such enthusiasm. It's been a dream, honestly, to be here.
I teach elementary school. They're little, they're 4 or 5 years old. They are capable, because I saw it today. The kids are capable of doing it. We just have to give them the appropriate jobs and the appropriate instruction. Today really opened my eyes to the possibilities.
It's very important because you were able to see the model. So when you're able to see it in real time, then you can know the validity of what's going on.
Having Muriel and Dr. Hatch here today was a testament of the work we have put forth for the last 4 years.
If I were trying to go in and change a community, start with the schools, because that will impact students' paradigms, the way they feel about themselves, and the more that grows over the years, it'll influence the whole community. And I've seen that happening here at St. Tammany.
You've got teachers here today from all over the state of Louisiana. People are coming to learn from your teachers and from your administrators and leaders. And when that kind of synergy can happen in education, only greatness is ahead for all of us.
What I want people to take from today is that we are on a journey with these students to build lifelong legacies. And hearing the authors say that our schools that they walked in today can be lighthouse status tomorrow, it lets me know that not only as a school, but as a district, that we're building legacies in all of these students, and our teachers and staff and administrators are doing the work to make sure that we have a lifelong impact on our students.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sydney Allen. I am a 6th grader and a member of the Student Lighthouse team at Gale Sloan Middle. Being on the Student Lighthouse team has changed me as a friend, student, and even a citizen. For example, ever since I got accepted into this team, I have started to notice how even one person can change the school, and how every single person in school is capable of it. We all have the capability to be a leader in anything. Also, the Student Lighthouse team has taught me to look at a student in many different ways. This means that even if your first impression of a student is negative, you learn to look harder and see where they have a positive impact on something or someone. Lastly, it has taught me to work better with others. For instance, in Student Lighthouse team, we work with one another to find ways that will positively affect the school and the students. While being in a classroom with many different characteristics is challenging, and I have learned to find where everyone contributes in a great way. All in all, being on the Student Lighthouse team has taught and changed me in many different ways, and I hope to use these skills I have learned, such as communication and teamwork, in the future. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. My name is Phoebe. Being on the Student Lighthouse team has been an exciting experience for me. It started in the 4th grade when I was accepted to be a student ambassador. This led to me wanting to be part of the official Student Lighthouse team. I applied, interviewed, and was chosen. Being on a Student Lighthouse team has given me many opportunities, from talking in front of my class to being a tour guide on District Leadership Day. I love being on a Student Lighthouse team because it gives me chances to be a better leader for my community and the other people around me. Being on the Student Lighthouse team means that I can also make a lot more new friends. This is a very important role to have in my school because it means that we have to be leaders for our other students, friends, and even teachers. My favorite experience so far on the Student Lighthouse team was serving as a tour guide with my partner Maya for District Leadership Day. I'm really excited to see what adventures I will explore next on the Student Lighthouse team.
That's it, unless Amanda or Stephanie wants to say anything, but that concludes our presentation.
Would either of our principals at those two schools like to say anything? You should both be very proud, very, very proud. Do I have any board members that would like to say anything? I'll just start down. Ms. Hursis.
Y'all are so awesome. I just love that. We've got some future leaders in the audience. That is fantastic. And for y'all to get up there and speak is wonderful. Y'all did a fantastic job. Ms. Gardner, thank you so much for doing that. And the presentation was fantastic. And board members, thank y'all for going there and representing us. Sorry that I missed it. It looks like it was fantastic. I do want to, I guess, have you repeat, because I know that I sent an email and we went back and forth, but I'd like for the public to know where are the funds coming from for Leader and Me? Because I want to make sure that our taxpayers know that what St. Tammany Parish is paying and what you're getting money from.
It is 100% funded through Title. Well, it's Title IV, but 100% funded that way.
Good. And I just want everybody to know that, because I know that a lot of questions have been raised for
If the
that.
taxpayers saw the impact it made,
They wouldn't care. I understand that, but you know, we get questions about it, so I want everybody to know where the money's coming from.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Lammy.
I want to say great job. And Sydney, I think, were you the first one to talk? When you were talking, you know what it made me think about? It made me think about our board. Because you said, even when you get a negative impression the first time, you look harder and you see that what they bring to the table is important. And that together you're even better. And that's really how I feel. Like, we all have different opinions and we all act differently and different personalities, but together we all have something to offer. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I felt like it made me think of something that I needed to focus on. So great job. And Kim, I wanted to also mention, when you talked about the day, I don't think, if people who weren't there, this was a day that we had lots of outsiders come in. That was the purpose. So they came to see how amazing we are. It wasn't just our school system. So there were people from all over. So a lot of those people you interviewed were people who were from different districts saying, wow, I saw that y'all are doing this. We really can do it. So not only is this impacting St. Tammany Parish, but our neighboring communities and neighboring parishes, which makes our entire area better. So I'm just so elated with this program and just like the love. I feel like it sparked a fire in teachers that was dim for a while. And when I got to go on the tour, which was phenomenal, and I was taking notes and taking pictures of everything that I could see, but I honestly just felt a real joy from the students and the teachers for how proud they were of their kids. So anyway, thank you.
Ms. McCollum?
All I have to say is I am just so proud of you youngsters, all of you. It takes a whole, some of the principals, Ms. Franzo and Ms. Keller, and a couple other people were talking about how intimidating it is to have an interview and for a principal or assistant principal's job and have to come sit here, and then about 10 people are sitting up here watching them, and how intimidating that is. And you guys came up here like little pros and presented to us tonight and said the pledge and said your prayers, and it was beautiful. It was amazing, and I just can't wait to watch you guys grow into amazing leaders.
And I ditto all that. I had the pleasure of going to Gale Sloan Middle. And when I tell you, there's talking the talk and walking the walk, and these kids are absolutely invested in this and walking the walk. And the flip side of that is I did have the opportunity to ask Ms. Keller some questions. And it's not as if they're not kids. They still go through the same, they're not perfect children, but it's the way they recover. One of my favorite takeaways was one of the gentlemen had a mishap, whatever he did, I don't know what he did, that required some discipline. And the biggest thing that the child did not want to do was lose his leadership role. And to me, I mean, they're doing a whole lot right over there. So thank you and for allowing me to come, and I just thank you.
Yes. Well, congratulations on a great presentation. I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you do, and it's the kind of organization that you have right now with the Leader in Me that gives you an avenue to change the environment, change the climate in the school, change the social climate in the school. And there are very few things that are able to do that. And because of your energy, your focus, you can do some fantastic things. And I also went to Sixth Ward Elementary, and we had Mrs. Stant's team, and they had their organization just doing a presentation. They have their Student Achievements of the Month. And I was taken back. I just thought it was so cool. They went, the whole school went to the gym, and they identified a Student of the Month in every single classroom, and that's as part of this activity, Leader in Me. And just to recognize, be there to observe the enthusiasm that was coming from the entire school for every student that was recognized. It was just a school-wide support for each other. And the Leader in Me team, the Lighthouse team, is you're the spearhead of all of that, and just keep doing what you're doing. It's great, and it makes a valuable difference in the culture of our schools. And I want to thank Ms. Gardner, because I think her leadership has made a big difference too in bringing this program to fruition. So thank you, Ms. Gardner. Okay.
Anyone else? Anyone else on that side of the board? You know, it looks easy, you know, like you see these videos and it looks great and the kids all look super polished, and it's a process when you see it and when you spend time with these kids and you see how hard these principals work and how hard these kids work. It's a lot of being patient and, you know, a lot of meetings and trainings and redirecting and being persistent and practicing to get to this point. It is a lot of hard work, and we see that. So thank you for doing everything that you do, administrators, teachers, kids. You guys are amazing. Phoebe, Sydney, you did great. Reed, super proud of you. Thanks, everybody. Y'all are wonderful. And Superintendent Jabbia still has his update.
Yes, thank you. But just real quick, you know, 4 years ago, Ms. Gardner came to me with Leader and me, and we sat down. We were looking for a way to grow leaders and to develop the ability for our kids to lead from a younger age. As a high school person, the opportunities are there in different organizations and clubs on a high school campus. But at the elementary and the middle school, we really didn't have very many abilities or positions for kids to lead. And I think this goes to show you that if you put that in place, kids want to be leaders. They want to show their classmates what they're capable of, what a true friend looks like, what a true classmate looks like, what direction in following and setting an example looks like. So just thank y'all very much. They came to the office and got to visit with me earlier. So it's an amazing group of kids, and thank y'all very much for all y'all doing. And thank you for being leaders on your campuses. We appreciate it very, very much.
Would all the kids stand up, and their parents and the administrators that help these kids all the time, so we can thank you guys one more time for being so wonderful.
Really appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving break. I know, look, I was here Monday and Tuesday, but having a few days off really meant a whole lot to me. I was able to spend some time with my family, and as I told the kids, I'm never off during the week, of course, but Friday, the daycare was closed, and I got to keep my grandbaby Friday for, that was really, really cool. I don't get that opportunity, especially during the school week, to do that. So it was great to spend some time with everybody, and I know it meant a lot to me. We had a great principals meeting on Tuesday, a lot of great things. We spent the first half of the day doing a lot of administrative and SWE and through finance and all those kind of good things. And then C and I took over in the second half of the day, and we got to do a whole lot and got to work through some challenges we're having. And we've talked about it with this board, with our portal for our teacher portal, and really working and making sure our principals have a really good, firm grasp on what's going on, and making sure that everything is done perfectly with them and on their campuses, and to give them some confidence through that. So we really appreciate it. We talk about some programs that we've instilled in the last few years. The Thursday before the break, we got to finish up our last Future Focus event at North Shore High School. So let's check out a video of that last event.
Tonight is Future Focus Night for North Shore, and this is an opportunity for students to come to North Shore and see all the clubs and activities that they can do here tonight.
This is such an exciting night for the younger generations, and I think that they're going to have so much fun being able to experience everything that we have to offer, because North Shore is such an inviting culture and environment to be in, and I think that it's a home for everybody.
The hope is today that every student that comes here will just be able to see themselves in North Shore, whether it be joining a club, doing an activity, or just being in the environment as a whole.
This is also a great opportunity for the parents, because they get to see their students thrive in a different environment and know that wherever they go at North Shore High, they will be safe and will find their people.
This experience really helped me have a big welcome from coming from Boyette to North Shore, and it was just a fun experience to see all the clubs and everything.
Future Focus Night is a wonderful event. As a parent, it allows me to see all that's offered here at North Shore, and bringing the family along as well, and letting my daughter really get a feel for all that's offered. It's really an amazing night. So we are so excited to come here next year.
I'm feeling, yes. I'm feeling really old because the young lady that just interviewed last, I was the principal at North Shore when she was there, and she's got a student yes, I'm feeling really old right now. And so, yes, but y'all, that entire program, the students ran the entire thing. I started off, when I first started that program, I did, and my team did a lot of the talking. We have turned it over. The Lighthouse team at North Shore and at all of our high schools are running that program. They run the entire show. They set it up. They take the kids around. They take the families around, and they get to meet all the students that talk about all the different programs that go on in our high school. So that's another, it's just, you will transition from Mandeville Elementary to Sloan Middle to moving on to Montleon or Mandeville High, Mandeville Junior High, and on to your high school where you'll get those same opportunities. So we are looking forward to seeing you grow. At Salmon High School, Ms. LaSala, who is the theater teacher, they have been working really hard at Salmon High School to build a theater program. That's a community that has not had that in my entire time. They've never put on a production at Salmon High School, but the students and Ms. Jacobs met with Ms. LaSala and they said, hey, if you build it, we'll participate. So let's check out what they did here at Salmon High School with The Lion King.
I'm so happy to be a part of the Lion King production. It really mimics what it means to be a part of a community, and that is something that I'm so happy to be a part of.
I couldn't see my life any other way because this has really impacted me and helped me grow as not only a person, but also finding who I am and what my future looks like after high school.
Everything we did in the show, whether it was costume design, makeup design, lighting, technical, sets, props, was all led by the students. I pretty much provided the vision, but they worked on it together to make it all happen. We invited all of our feeder schools, Abney, St. Tammany Junior, and Rock Elementary, did an open audition call to entire school.
We worked really hard, and for our community to just come out and support us and to actually be involved, it really helped a lot of us.
Because we're including a lot of community members. In this case, it's my sibling, my brother.
What's very interesting about my experience in this production is the different varieties of people we have. Like, we have people from different age groups, grade levels. I personally have 3 of my younger sisters in this production.
I would say The Lion King is about growth. I would say that The Lion King is about finding yourself even in the impossible world that we live in.
I was blown away. Thursday, I went to the matinee and they brought some of the elementary, so I was there with Abney's 5th grade, but they included all the students. They gave, just like they said, they gave an audition tryout to students to come from all grade levels that could come participate for the first time ever. They did a Thursday, Friday, but they also did a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night performance, and it was standing room only. So really, they blew me away. And the principal, Ms. Jacobs, told them, if you do this, I will be a part of it. And she had a singing role in one of the parts of the play, and I told her I never knew. I never knew she could sing. I'm like, they would throw me out of there. If I started trying to sing, that would be really, really bad. But the kids blew me away, and just the involvement. It was crazy. So I said we did Future Focus last week, and so Wednesday night was at Salmon, and the student that ran the Future Focus night, he was the MC. He was Simba, and there was another young man that was Mufasa. So when I walked in, I recognized him. So I said, "Hey, Mufasa, hey, Simba." I was talking to him, and they were just blown away that I remember them being in the play. But they did fantastic. I'm just super proud, and I know they want to grow that program, and I think they're off to a tremendous start. So thank you to Mr. Solomon and Ms. Jacobs for making that happen. Just a few last things. Tomorrow I'll be hosting Superintendent Advisory Committee here, so I'm looking forward to having all 8 of our high schools here and spending a little time with them, which would be great. And then Sunday, all day Sunday, Monday, half day Tuesday, I'm with all the superintendents from around the state in Baton Rouge, and we'll be discussing a whole lot of things that are going on, and I will give you an update of how that went next Thursday. So thank you, Ms. Martin. That's all I have.
Do you have any questions from board members, comments?
I just want to say that on the video from North Shore, just in case anybody was curious, the lady who was getting her hair brushed, it was a thing on the internships that they get to do through North Shore. They have interns, that's like a class that you can take, and one of the girls is an intern at a hair salon. So Ms. McMurdo allowed her to cut her hair at Future Focus. So that is why she was there getting her hair brushed and all that. I will say I did not stay long enough to see the haircut, but I have not heard anything by my daughters who go to North Shore that anything was wrong with her hair. So I think she did a fantastic job.
Can I add to that? Because Ms. McMurdo was willing to go shorter, and I think the student got a little nervous. She's like, do you really want me to? Because she's, from all accounts, an excellent intern. I mean, and just how great she is doing, and her hair looks great. I got to be with her Tuesday, and it looks fantastic.
All right, next we have our monthly recognitions by Vice President of the Board, Ms. Kalinda Fauntleroy.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. While it's a super busy month in December with concerts and parties and all of the fun Christmas stuff, there's only one national recognition day this month, and that was December 2nd, our SWE Educator Appreciation Day. I know I've seen on social media several of my schools have recognized their SWE educators, so just want to let them know how much we appreciate them and all they do for our students. And I know it's past, but happy SWE Educator Day.
Thank you, Ms. Fauntleroy. Next, we have a very special recognition of Mandeville High School swimmer Avery Daigle.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. And Jabian Board. Tonight, we are proud to recognize Mandeville High sophomore Avery Daigle for her outstanding performance at the Division I State Swim Meet, a performance that was nothing short of extraordinary. Avery had an incredible showing, setting 2 individual composite state records in the 100-yard butterfly, 100-yard backstroke, I'm not a swimming person, so sorry, backstroke, both with All-American times. She also helped her team set a new state record in the 200-yard medley relay. Let's take a look at a video by Channel 13 highlighting Avery.
Avery, I would say the first word that comes to mind is extraordinarily dedicated. She won Swimmer of the Meet at state. She scored the most points out of anyone at any school at state. She set 3 new state records.
I wasn't necessarily focusing on winning. I wanted to get specific times, and I was able to do that. So I was really happy with that, and it was just an enjoyable experience.
People look up to her. She sets an example for everyone. She motivates everyone.
Our team's kind of like a family, I would say. We're like very close, and we're like a tight-knit group.
I don't know how much time she has to spend studying, but she is an extremely bright person. I did have her in my biology class last year. She sets those high goals for herself, both in the pool and in the classroom.
Focusing on technique helps me focus in school and like stay focused on what I want.
She's been working really hard for many years, and obviously all that work and talent is showing up in big ways for her this year.
By the time I'm a senior, I want to have left a legacy for Mandeville High. I want it to be one of the top schools for swimming. I want it to keep growing.
I know we still have a couple more years ahead of us with her, and so we're excited about that.
As you can tell, Avery is focused on the future and is already setting new goals for the years ahead. We're going to see her up here a few more times. But tonight, we are honored to celebrate Avery for her already historic accomplishments and for representing St. Tammany Public Schools and Mandeville High with such excellence. Let's congratulate Avery.
Thank you.
I was telling Avery in the atrium a few minutes ago, my daughter started swimming at 5, swam through college. So as a dad that spent 18 years on a swim deck and delivered to practice, and I don't think people realize how hard she works. Swimming is you can't compare swimming to anything else. And I told her I'm just taking my daughter doubling practice on Mondays. From, like she can tell you, 5:30, and as soon as high school day is over with. So double it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a practice on Tuesday and Thursday, and another one on Saturday. And that's every day, year round, no matter what temperature it is, whatever the situation. But congratulations. Super proud of you. Meredith, can I take a picture? Come on, Steve, come join us. Yeah. Come on, Christian. Exactly. Thank you so much. Yes. And would like to thank Mr. Munson for being here and for Avery's family for being here. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it very much.
Great job, Avery. All right.
Miss Martin, can I say
Yes,
something?
of course.
So Avery, I'll say too, I swam as a child, not competitively, but I can tell I teach swim lessons now over in Slidell, and I can tell you, I know how hard you work to get that butterfly, so congratulations. And as Mr. Jabbia said, swimming is not easy. I'm in the Coast Guard, and you can do the run or the swim, and people who say, oh, I'm just gonna do the swim, and I'm like, do you swim though? Because that swim is not easy. And they're like, no, I got it. And I get finished. And I'm like, are you going to pass? Because I don't think you're going to make it through the pool. I'm going to be saving your life because you can't make it through the pool. So congratulations. It's amazing.
Anyone else? All right. We are now going to take a short break. All of our guests that have been recognized tonight and their families, take all the pictures you want. You are free to leave. I'm sure you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting. Thank you very much for being here. We will resume. All right, next on the agenda. Public and board discussion item, bereavement leave. Direct the superintendent to negotiate an MOU with the St. Tammany Federation of Teachers and school employees to be brought back for board consideration no later than February 5th, 2026. And that's brought by Ms. Hersis. Do I have a motion? Ms. Hersis, do I have a second? Mr. Peterson? Do I have any public comments?
Warren, Federation President. I want to express appreciation to the board, Ms. Hurstis, for bringing this item. I do think it's needed. You see this in private sector and also school systems around the country. You know, people ask us for a lot of things, sometimes ideas for efficiency or compensation. The direct appeals that I've heard are heartbreaking stories. I mean, obviously, these are people that experience grief, and because we didn't have this policy, it impacted them. So, you know, again, I just want to express my appreciation, because as an empath, that's heavy to carry. I never quite, you know, lose that original emotion. But you do have to balance it operationally. I think this policy does that. It gives a finite number of days, gives a list that restricts who can get it, who can't, and then you have to have proof, right? There's documentation. I think those are elements operationally that you have to balance, and I think that does it. There's a bargaining piece, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Thank you.
All right. Do I have any questions from board members, comments from board members? Looks like Ms. Fauntleroy, you are first.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. I think this is definitely a conversation that needs to be had. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, like you said, the empathy part, but there's a financial piece. There's just lots of things to be considered. What I am confused on as to why it's being addressed in this format. That's my concern. We have a collective bargaining agreement, and the board voted to accept that collective bargaining agreement. So I think that by accepting it, that implied that we plan to work within the confines of it. We plan to let our chief negotiator, who is Mr. Jabia, and the head of the union, Mr. Osborne, negotiate things that involve employees. And so I think that us getting involved in that in this manner is circumventing that process. And we had, when we did negotiations, when y'all did negotiations, it was private. There was no social media involved. There were stipulations, there were regulations on how it was to be done. And, I know we, as the board, can jump in and direct Mr. Jabia on anything, that we want to do as a board. But I think we've set a precedent that we're going to work through the CBA and negotiate things. I just think that this, entertaining it in this fashion, we're headed down a slippery slope. Do we want to do every policy like this? I mean, do we need a CBA if we're just going to tell Mr. Jabia what to do? It's just, I think this should be negotiated within the CBA since we have one. That's just my opinion on that, so.
Madam Chair, can I respond to that? Do you mind? Can you recognize me as president so I can respond? Those are some good points.
We're going to wait till a couple more.
Oh, yeah,
board
that's
members
fine.
have spoken.
Yeah, I'll come back. Thanks.
Ms. Hurstis.
I understand everybody's, okay, I'm sorry. I understand everybody's concern. And the reason that, you know, I brought this to the, I guess, to the table or to the board, quote unquote, first, I do want to mention that, and it's a shame Brandon isn't here, because I did buy the How to Win Friends and Influence People book. Okay, so that's my first step. Okay, aren't you? I know. Now, the second part is to start reading it. Okay. And then maybe I might be better at doing all this. Okay. So first, I brought this up as a policy, and I was wrong. So then Paul corrected me, and I appreciate it. But I think bringing this as I did, I'm not doing anything wrong. Because according to 17:22, part of the superintendent's function, we are in every right to, I guess, direct the superintendent into negotiations for a possible MOU, with the Federation. So there's nothing wrong with this. Also, to be completely transparent with our employees and, with the community, we can do this as well. And so I don't understand what the big deal is in bringing it to, speak about it. There's really nothing we're not really negotiating. I'm just bringing up this, I guess I don't know what you want to call it. Yeah, thank you. Need, thank you. Thank you, Tammy, appreciate it. This need, I've spoken with Terry, Ms. Prevost, and she said that, we have it in the budget already.
No, ma'am, I didn't say that. I said there's no way to determine the amount of this, because you can't determine deaths. We would need to get some data from other districts, but yeah, I never said, and we shouldn't affect this budget, in my opinion, at all. It should be next year. But.
Okay. Well, excuse me, I guess maybe when we spoke, I guess I took it wrong when I asked, would we have the coverage to cover something like this? No, I guess we can't determine how many people are going to pass away. But, I feel like I'm just getting thrown under the bus right now. Maybe I should start recording conversations when I have them. And Louisiana law, Ms. McCollum, you can do that. One-way recording.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you just me.
Point of order.
Thank you.
Michelle, Ms. Hursis, would you please continue?
I don't
What
even
you
know
would
what
like to
you're
say
doing.
about the policy?
Just keep going. Keep going with your purpose. It's difficult to stay focused when people make it.
Ms. Hursis, would you like me to circle back around to you?
Yeah, please do, because
Miss-
this is when I'm calm and then I'm about to have an exorcist moment.
Ms. McCollum, you're next.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Osborne, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. McCollum.
Was this negotiated in collective bargaining agreement? Bereavement, was it negotiated and discussed and negotiated?
It was an item, and what we came with is that now any of your sick days can be used for the purpose of bereavement. So what I think this would do would be dovetail with it and actually give bereavement days for death. And then if somebody was grieving even more, could use sick days, or if somebody died, like a friend that's not on the
So let
list.
me ask you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was negotiated.
Yes, we did
Okay, thank
attempt to
you.
negotiate
So
bereavement.
if we're going to do this sort of thing, whatever we're doing, if it's a policy or whatever it is, that means as a board, we can do anything we want to, anytime we want to, whether it's in the collective bargaining agreement or not. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say that. What I would say
Yeah,
is.
I understand.
You would have the ability and this is partially responding to Ms. Fauntleroy. It goes back to Ms. Hines. I call it the Beth Hines maneuver. When COVID happened, she made a motion to send the calendar back to the table to be renegotiated to delay school. Now, it was still up to the parties to negotiate, but she has the power, Ms. Hines had the power to direct the superintendent to go to the table. This is a similar motion to when you directed the superintendent to go back to the table to do the whole thing. This is a much more finite thing. Not every policy has a benefit. In fact, I can't really think of any other policies that you have that confer benefits. This is an actual benefit. So as Mr. Harrison identified, it would fall under the purview of collective bargaining, wages and benefits. So not everything is subject to bargaining.
But I do believe that anything to do with employees in the past, if I'm not mistaken, have always been through the collective bargaining agreement. And if we, as a school board, step in and alter agreements that have been fully negotiated and mutually approved, we undermine the very foundation of collective bargaining. Those processes are in place to ensure fairness, collaboration, and respect for all parties involved. If we override what has already been agreed upon, then we must ask ourselves, as Ms. Fauntleroy did, what is the purpose of having a collective bargaining agreement? Because of this, as well as several other important considerations that this would entail, budget, attendance of employees, many other things, I would like to make a motion to table this discussion at this time. We should follow our established process and revisit this in the spring during executive session, as we have always done in the past. When we review all items, we may wish to request Mr. Javia and the administration to negotiate with the union. May I have a second to my motion?
1 second, please. We need to make sure that we have this motion correct. So you're making the motion to table sending or directing Superintendent Javia to negotiate an MOU with the St. Tammany Federation of Teachers and School Employees for spring.
I am making yes, that motion, but at this point in time, I don't think we need to be voting or deciding whether we're going to do that right now or not. We need to have that discussion in executive session, as we've always done. So I don't know how we want to word that.
Sure.
Rather than tabling or postponing, if we had an alternative motion that basically said that we direct the superintendent to work with the Federation union leader, and I know we're going to have to get the wording for this, Federation leader, for them to do more research on this, collect more data on this, and then revisit it when they do their annual spring negotiations. I just feel like if we table it, that means we're going to bring it back or bring it back or bring it back. And what I'm trying to, I agree with what both of them said, and I also agree with what Ms. Hirsch has said. Yes, we can do this. The statute says we can.
Mm-hmm.
But just because we
Not
can
now.
do things doesn't mean we should do things and do it this way. So I just would like to bring up, if I may, a couple of the points that we have to consider in this.
Well,
And
wait,
that-
one second,
Okay.
Ms. Hanson, because you are speaking out
Okay.
of turn. Ms. McCollum, how would you like to word your motion?
I would like to, well, if tabling it means it's going to recur and recur and recur, then I would like to say
Well, there is
that,
a difference between tabling and postponing.
Right.
Mr. Harrison, would you like to
can
tell us
you
the difference between
advise
those
us?
two?
Because
But it has to
Correct.
be worded correctly, so Mr.
Yes.
Harrison.
I think you need to just keep the motion simple and not mention executive session in the motion, just motion to table or postpone, whichever you prefer, and set a time on it. Keep it simple, if that's what you want to do. The executive session already is what we do for negotiating.
Mhm.
So that's what I think.
So make the motion to table this, to put in discussion in executive session at the time of, that negotiations will be taking place. Is that okay?
No.
When do y'all negotiate? In the spring, and we don't
We
have a
just
definite
postponed to
date.
spring 2026.
Spring 2026.
Mr. Breaux.
Point of order. I believe tabling
Is not the
means that
appropriate
it only comes up the next month. And if it
Correct.
doesn't come up the
Postponing, you
next
can put a
month.
date on it.
And
So postpone.
Robert's rules are different between different organizations. We have a hybrid between a Robert rules for small organizations and the general Robert rules. But I think our Robert rules that we follow says that if you table it, it has to come up the next meeting or it dies. So
So
if
we
it's tabling, then
Can we
it'll
use the
be
word-
dead if we didn't bring it up next meeting or next month's meeting.
If you would like to attach a date to it, you would want to make a motion to postpone.
So let's make a motion to postpone to spring during the time of negotiations.
I have motion to postpone until CBA negotiations spring 2026.
Ms. McCollum, you happy with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Ms. Baker was
Ms. Baker. All right. Do I have any questions, comments from the public?
I just think Ms. Hanson's is better, because if you want to keep it in executive session, well, I guess it could be put on the agenda and then you go into executive session. So that works. That's good. Okay. I was going to ask if you could at least discuss it, but then you'll be able to do that in the future in executive session. Okay. I'm happy with that. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Board comments?
Point of order.
What, postpone? Ms. Hanson?
Thank you, and I agree that we need to postpone this, and I'm just gonna bring up my points, which is connected to the postponement, and that is, this will give the superintendent an opportunity to collect more data, because we don't know the impact, and the only way we can collect some type of data, I mean, we don't have any predictive data on deaths, but what we do have is we can look at other school systems to see what their rate is and determine that. I think the other cost we have to, be concerned with is the cost of a teacher not being in the classroom, or bus transportation not being covered, or a para not being there to assist. So all of these people are very important to our system because they provide educational services for our students. So that's more lost time. I do agree with Mr. Osborne that this is a benefit, and being that it's a benefit, we need to postpone and have the benefit discussion of to what extent the benefit will be for the employees in the collective bargaining agreement. And then finally, I think that's it. Address it as a benefit, let's postpone it, and we address it when we address benefits at our annual negotiations. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Moore, would you still like to speak?
I'd like to, let me push this on. When we bring this up again, I would like to, I might be the only one in this room that's been affected by this. I was a teacher, and my husband died. But guess what? I use my sick days, as is everybody else that had something. And I went back to work. I didn't ask for more. A lot of entities don't give any more than their sick days. Everybody gets a certain amount, isn't that right, Ms. Provost? You know what you get. Some teachers take a whole lot more than they need to. I had some Friday riders that would take every Friday off until I got on them. But I just said, everybody has a certain amount of days, and I think they need to plan. You never plan for anything. I was 44, so anyway, thank you.
Ms. Hurstis, back to you. Do you have anything else to say?
That's right.
Oh, Ms. Baker, I apologize.
No
Didn't mean to
worries.
skip you.
I agree with everything said here, and I agree with Ms. Moore. I just think, in addition to the cost to the students, look, every day someone's going to die, and you are heartsick if it's someone you love. Without a doubt, you need your time to recover, without a doubt. I just don't know, I would be interested, and I think that Mr. Jabby and Mr. Osborne will consider, I mean, from what I've heard lately, we are having an attendance problem with employees, so that has to be corrected and addressed before we can consider, before I would consider adding more time to, at our expense, for anything, because you are given the 10 days and your contract is only 181 days. So, and your time rolls over. So when you have a tragedy and when you have something unexpected, because that's going to happen, then hopefully you have, unless you're a new teacher, you have banked some days or can pull from another bank somewhere. But that doesn't mean that I'm not sympathetic to people who have trauma through death.
Miss Lammy, because you have not spoken yet.
Just really quick, I just want to say, I don't think us, and this is not even about whether we're talking about this right now or if we should be, because I tried to talk about giving the teachers a pay increase, and I could not because it had to wait for negotiations. And Mr. Osborne was very strong about that he did not want us to give them a little bonus for like $500 or whatever it was at that time, because we had to negotiate it. But if we were to do this in the future, if Superintendent, I almost called you pastor again. If Superintendent Jabbia and Mr. Osborne decided that they wanted to do this, I don't feel like that's going to keep teachers out of the classroom more. If someone loses someone in their immediate family, whether they have days or not, they're probably going to stay home. And if they don't, and they're a basket case and they're in the classroom, they should. So, but I do think when we consider it, we should say, like, if they already have days banked, then that's where it should come from. I think that this should be considered for people who have used their days. But I'm just throwing that out there because I want to make a point that, you know, some people are in situations where maybe their spouse was sick for a long time, so they used all their days, and now they're, you know, okay, the end.
Ms. Hurstis.
Okay, trying to collect my thoughts, I'm trying to be calm. I appreciate everyone's points, and they are valid. Ms. Hanson, I appreciate what you had brought up. You know, of course, you know, bringing it up in executive session and everything, I understand that. I do believe in transparency. I don't think that there's anything wrong with bringing up, you know, for the public to hear things, especially teachers, since it does involve them. Honestly, I wish we were a little bit more open with things that we discuss in the collective bargaining. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. You know, it does say in law that we can post things about the collective bargaining agreement within 24 hours. Again, I personally think, what is the school board for but to be part of negotiations and to negotiate for the benefit of our community, our constituents, to negotiate for our teachers. Again, I'm hearing stuff from the peanut gallery around me, and I'm trying to think. And when I hear comments from that, that's what gets me upset, and I lose my train of thought. So unless they want to be called out, maybe they just need to be quiet for a second. Okay? So that's what I think the school board is here for. Now, if something comes up and we hear of a good idea that we feel is the benefit for our employees after the collective bargaining agreement has been decided on, I don't think that there is a problem with maybe bringing something up as an MOU. I don't think that there's a problem with it. Now, did I possibly do this in the wrong way? Maybe so. Maybe because I felt a little gypped because I brought this up last month, nothing was said to me, and at the last minute something was said to me, and y'all know how I get when something gets pushed back on me. I'm gonna push a little bit harder, and that's what I did. Yeah, we could have waited till spring, but you know what? I got upset. So I'm gonna push a little bit harder on it. But ultimately, if I can get this bereavement for our teachers, and then I'm happy. And you know what? They will be too. And yes, I think that this is long overdue because every other parish, like Tangipahoa, Jefferson, Orleans, and all of them, they have their 10 sick days and they give 2 to 3 to 4 bereavement days. So I think St. Tammany Parish is way behind. And let me tell you something. They may have their sick days, but when you are completely devastated for someone that is very close to their loss, I think this is out of respect for someone that they lost. Because I think the last thing they're thinking about is, oh my God, how many sick days do I have? I think it's just out of respect for our employees, period. So if we can just give them a little respect for that and to make us equal with other parishes, I'm okay with it. And that's how I felt when this was brought to me. Okay.
Would everyone please vote? This is on the motion to postpone.
It does. The little line underneath.
The motion to postpone,
Point of order. There was a motion on the floor. There was a motion on the floor, so the only other motion that we could have was a substitute motion to postpone. So it has to be referred to as a substitute, because you can't have two motions on the floor simultaneously. So it's a substitute motion to postpone.
which I don't think, just redo it as a. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Okay, reopen, everybody, vote again.
Right. Okay, this is to vote on the substitute motion to postpone talking about bereavement leave for our employees during CBA negotiations in spring of 2026.
We did. Oh, you already did?
Mhm.
Why does mine still say my name on it? Look at the bottom, the very motion to postpone.
And that passes with 10 yeas and 4 nays. Next is consideration of revisions to School Board Policy BBA, Officers of the School Board. This was brought by Mr. Harrell, who is not here, so I will make the first motion. Do I have a second motion? Mr. Green? Do I have any public comments?
Thank you, Board. Mr. Broom pointed this out. It's y'all's internal governments. I don't have any opinion on that. But the line itself is vague. So if I could recommend, no person may serve as president or vice president for more than 2 consecutive terms. Mr. Broom kind of read it like you were abolishing the office of president and vice president. I made that up. Yeah, the blue line, the added line. So just something along those lines. No person may serve as president or vice president for more than 2 consecutive terms. Mr. Broom agreed that was clear. Just an offering. Thanks.
Mr. Broom?
Yes, thank you. Robert Broom from Slidell, and I just wanted to add to that comment. Certainly, the intent of the change to the policy is clear, but really, you really don't want to be referring to the role. You want to be referring to the person. You don't want to, get rid of the role. So that's what I wanted to do and clarify it. Everybody, I'm sure, understands the intent of the motion, but to clarify the wording, I think that would help. Thank you.
Board comment? Ms. Baker.
Thank you. I did want to say this is simply a good governance policy. I think it was always there, maybe never in writing. And I don't think it's intended to say if it kind of officially removes any accusation of the quote-unquote good old boy system. So the role, but I think it's not to say the roles of the president and vice president shall be okay, it does say that, to 2 consecutive year terms. So if someone's president, Mr. Green's president for 2 years and aspires to do it again, as long as he rolls off after the 2 years, he can then, request to be president again. And I think, does that say that, Mr. Harrison? I think it does because it has the word consecutive in it. I'm just making sure that that's what it says. And why would it just say president and vice president versus officers? You don't know. Okay. All right. Well, as long as, am I reading that correctly? The word
I
consecutive
believe so. It's
makes
just
it.
2 consecutive
Okay,
terms. It
okay.
doesn't say you can't get another 2
Get
consecutive terms,
get
but you
on
gotta
it
have a
again
break.
if you enjoyed that role. God bless you. Okay.
Ms. Hurstis.
Can we change that for all positions, not just president and vice president? All vice president and the officer, yeah, thank you, or
So
chairs.
would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I would like to make
Okay.
a motion,
What
or
would you
what
like
is it?
that-
Okay.
It could be a friendly amendment.
How about a friendly
Oh,
amendment?
friendly
That way we
amendment,
don't
is
have
that
to make a
better?
substitution.
Okay.
Sure. Well, but Brandon isn't here to,
Oh, that's
okay,
true.
he said,
Whoever
okay.
made the motion.
How would you like that to read?
Well, I don't know, should we put, well, I like what Mr. Brune had said, or Paul, how would we word it? Instead of saying roles of the thing, should we put no person should be in
May I-
the role?
May I
or-
make a suggestion real quick? I'm sorry to
Yes,
interrupt.
Ms. Martin.
A board member or any board member shall not serve
Sir, okay.
in any role, any executive role or officer role
Officer
of the
role.
school board for more than 2 consecutive terms.
How's that?
In the same
Term-
position.
Same position?
Sure.
Yeah, go dilly-dallying all over the place.
No board member shall serve.
Ms. Hanson, are you okay with that verbiage as well? Well, yeah, not the dilly-dally part. Do not add that. Although I think that would be cute. Are you okay with dilly-dally? No, I'm joking.
No, as long as we put in there that, no one can be in that position for more than the same position for more than 2 consecutive years for any of the.
For any of the
Officer positions.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Hanson, you'd like to second that?
She doesn't have to.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's a
It's
friendly.
a friendly amendment.
It is if Mr. Green accepts it. And Ms. Martin already did.
No?
She's going to, yeah. She's working on it. Give her a second.
I really can't. Ms. Hanson would have to read what she just said, because I'm not going to go back tomorrow and listen to that.
I just basically said that no
Board member.
member can serve in the same position more than 2 years. No officer can serve in the same position for more than 2 consecutive years. I think that's what I said.
Mr. Kuzan.
I can see the president and the vice president, but suppose you have a good academic person or something in that position that you want to stay there, and that's doing a fantastic job. I mean, I'll go along whatever the board wants to go along with, but I don't, it ain't gonna concern me anyway, but I just think that if you have a good person in a position other than, say, president or vice president, I think you might want to eventually consider keeping that person in that position, especially if we're working on, there's certain things that we're working on. I just think it's something to think about. I go along with whatever you all request, but the president and vice president I can see, but as far as the academic and the other 2 committee chairmen, you may want to keep those people in that position but that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Ms. Hanson?
Mr. Kuzan, you have way more experience with this, so I respect that as well. The only reason why I would second for all persons, all positions, is while you may have someone that's really good, let's say in finance and business, or someone that's very good in curriculum and instruction, human resources, that's wonderful. But I think that we do need to try to rotate some of those because it gives different voices and different perspectives. And so every one of us can be a part of all the discussions, but it gives different perspectives as far as, from leading the committee. That's my only thing. Okay.
Mr. Harrison?
I've just listened closely to everybody to maybe help with phraseology. I'll throw this out for your consideration. How about this language? Unless otherwise decided by the board for a particular board member, comma, no board member may serve in the same office or position for more than 2 consecutive terms. So you could, I'm sorry, years. And you can shorten it with not using board members so often, but that'll allow for Mr. Kuzan's scenario for a particular person who's really effective, say in curriculum, and the board just wants them to stay there, and they don't want to get, hung up by their own policy. So you can, of course, vote differently for a particular case, but then you'll achieve your goal of the general rule will be no board member may serve in the same office or position for more than 2 consecutive years.
You also, or we may also run into this situation where no one really has the desire to do a particular,
That's what happened in,
position.
that's what happened
So,
in Bell Heights.
so the same person's like, all right, I'll just stay here and I'll do this. Okay, so I think that's a smart move. Okay. Would everyone please vote?
Oh, sorry. Which your
We're-
computer does not say that.
We're voting on the friendly amendment to, when the wording is correct, to basically limit all board members to only being able to serve an officer position for 2 consecutive years. Unless there's a special circumstance.
And it will be correct next week. Miss Laney, Dr. Peterson, Miss Moore.
My neighbor down there.
14 yeas.
And that passes unanimously. Next, we have the approval of minutes for the committee meeting held on November 6, 2025. Do I have any public comments? Any board comments?
Wait, my computer.
Everyone, please vote.
Wait, it's. 4A, the meeting.
This end of the board, I need you to pay attention.
I'm sorry, no, wait, it was my fault. I had typed a note and forgot to hit save.
Actually, you're right. I don't think I asked. Yeah, I didn't. Approval of the minutes. May I have a motion? I got it. Ms. Gallagher. May I have a second? Mr. Kuzan. All right, I've already asked for comments. Everyone, please vote when Christy has it ready on your computer screen.
Okay,
All right, we should be ready.
yes. I had typed a note in there. I started typing the long-winded thing, and I forgot to hit save in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, 14 yeas.
And that passes unanimously. Next is our administrative update. Mr. Alfonso.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, Superintendent Jabby, and Board. I have a sort of short admin update. Just want to give an update about our emergency operation plans. Bob Donnell and Jennifer Alleman are actively working with all 55 campuses to review and update their emergency school operation plans, which we call EOPs. This is safety plans that include the safety needs of all schools, severe weather, active threats, reunification procedures, and evacuation protocols. In school food services had the pleasure of hosting 2 diabetic interns from Tulane during the month of November. One happened to be a Covington High alumnus. They assisted with several special projects, including researching school breakfast trends in surrounding states, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Additionally, on January 5th, school food service managers will participate in a free leadership training provided by the Institute of Child Nutrition. Mr. Hoover put together a list of projects that were completed during the month of November. You have that on board docs. He's here to answer any questions. And my last update is pertaining to public records requests. This month, since my last update, we had 13 requests. We had 3 each for financial information, HR, and construction bids. So that's 9 total. We had 2 for financial information, 1 regarding a school food service bid, and 1 relative to policy. That's my admin update. I'm here to answer any questions.
Any questions from board members? No. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Alfonso.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Ms. Tipton.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Martin. Short construction report, the change out of the HVAC units for the cafeterias and kitchen area at Pontchartrain Elementary and Chafuncta Middle was completed over the Thanksgiving break. The gym units will be replaced over the winter break, and we anticipate having the recommendation for substantial completion for this project on the January board meeting agenda. The bond issue projects are moving forward with design teams working on programming and schematic design phases of work. We're continuing to have and schedule meetings with administrators, and we've started meetings with governmental agency staff for several projects. We're also working on projects that are anticipated for upcoming summer work. We had pre-quote meetings for 4 of these projects during the early part of the Thanksgiving break week, and we're planning for others. Be glad to answer any questions.
Questions from board members?
I just have a
Ms.
comment.
Rutherford?
I just have a comment. It's probably not in the right spot, but Ms. Cameron, I have to tell you, congratulations on the wonderful job y'all did at Covington High for that, the Pro Start Kitchen. I have never seen something so amazing. And I know you worked very hard on that, along with your team.
Yes.
But they did a great job, and I was so impressed. I want to go back to school and be a part of
That did
that.
turn out really well.
And I was never in home ec, but I could go do that, I think, and enjoy it there.
Thank you. The architects and the contractor really did an outstanding job.
Excellent.
And we really also appreciate how much the schools, they work with us to make construction a positive and a good outcome. So everybody worked well together. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Ms. Tipton.
Thank you.
Next, from Ms. Prevost, we have a resolution to appoint either superintendent or board president to the St. Tammany Parish Industrial Tax Exemption ITEP Committee.
Good evening. The board had asked us when we brought this resolution a year ago to bring it back each year and let the board decide if they wanted the superintendent or the board president to serve on the committee. The law allows either of them to serve on the committee. So this particular resolution names the superintendent as a representative, but the board may elect to appoint the board president to this committee, and you would just need to change the resolution to do that. So that is your vote, basically, to decide who you want to serve on that committee.
All right. Do I have a motion? Ms. Hanson, do I have a second?
A motion to.
A motion to accept the resolution as written to appoint Superintendent Javia as, okay. Ms. McCollum is the second. Do I have any public comments? Board comments? Mr. Bro?
Have we had any ITEP over the past year?
We did. We had one back in either late January, early February. It was a manufacturing facility in Slidell, and the proposal passed 4-0. Again, all of those are a representative from the sheriff's office, who is the tax collector, a representative from the school system, which is me, a representative from, who is the parish president, and then whatever mayor or entity is where that is. So it was wanted, Slidell mayor wanted it, parish president wanted it, and the tax collector wanted it. Mr. McManus I was the fourth vote. It was 4-0, but that was the only one.
There's one in the pipe right now.
There is one coming up in the pipe. It's probably, the notification this week said it will happen within the next 45 to 60 days. I don't know. All I know is the mayor of Mandeville was included, so it must be something in that area. So I don't know what business it is or what it involves.
So they're infrequent.
Very
Very
infrequent.
infrequent.
And that was the first one that's ever happened in my 5 years being on this board. That was the only one we've had.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we do have a queue. Ms. Gallagher?
So before this is voted on, everybody's saying that it says for the superintendent, but on the paper I'm looking at, it says or board president. So are we changing it to only say superintendent? Because
You see the paragraph, there's a paragraph below that appoints a superintendent, if you read down.
am I reading down on the Word document attached?
Yes.
It says Frank Jabby, superintendent or board president. So that's what I'm saying. Are you taking out or board president?
No, look at section 1.
I am. My sheet
Right.
says in parentheses or board president. So I'm saying, are we
Right.
just going to take
That's
out
'cause
or
it's
board
highlighted.
president?
Yeah, so you can take that
Okay,
out.
that's all I'm asking, because
Yeah,
I'm like, that is
yeah.
not what I just read. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Hurstis?
Well, I had the same question. So it's just, okay, well, I think Frank has, excuse me, Mr. Jabbia has a lot on his plate. So I was actually kind of wanting to do the board president, just so he has one less thing to do. I mean, that was just my opinion. So I guess I would vote no then on this. I mean, I don't,
Correct.
okay. I mean, I'm good with Mr. Jabbia doing it. I just thought it would be one less thing for him to do. I mean, Frank, do you have, but it sounds like there's not much going on. There's not too many on it.
I'm gonna be there whether I'm voting or not. So
Oh,
it doesn't
okay,
make
well
any
then I guess,
difference.
okay, all right, well then it doesn't matter, I'm good with it then. I just thought it would be one less thing on your plate to do.
Mr. Kuzan?
Don't the governor have the final say on this? The governor has final say on that?
Governor has.
He can override it? Okay, just wanted to be sure.
That's correct.
Doesn't matter. All right, would everyone please vote? And this is to appoint Superintendent Jabbia as our ITEP committee voter for St. Tammany Parish Public School System. And that passes unanimously. Ms. Prevost, would you like to continue?
Yes, I provided you with the federal, state, and local grant budgets for fiscal 25-26. We waited to provide these budgets to the board until all federal, state, and local grants were allocated and approved. And of course, the budgets are approved by the state or the entity first, so we bring them after. So we pretty much have them all in place at this point.
Do I have any public comments? Oh, I need a motion. Me with my motions tonight. Thank you, Mr. Bro. May I have a second? Ms. Rutherford, public comments? No? Board questions or comments? All right, everyone, please vote. And that passes unanimously. Next is the financial update.
I'm going to provide you with a brief update. Generally, at this time of year, I give you a budget update. So as of November 30th, actual total revenues and expenditures were within 5% of budgeted revenues and expenditures. Therefore, no revision is necessary as of December 2025. Budget lines would be revised in the next few months if a 5% negative variance occurs in revenues or expenditures, which we do not anticipate. Status of revenues are the MFP. I don't want to increase or decrease at this time. We may have to revise MFP in April because right now, based on October 1st counts, it looks like we have a projected loss of $2 to $3 million in MFP. Sales tax revenues are 2.6 million over last year's sales tax collections to date, so that's good news. property tax revenues, we've received the final tax roll and looks like based on what I budgeted, we're in line and we may have about 2 million more than I budgeted if we receive all those revenues. All the other revenues are in line and expenditures are in line. So, also, as far as the audit, just to give you an update, the compliance supplement that I spoke of in the last meeting was issued on the 2nd of December. So the auditors are proceeding and we anticipate that we will be able to complete the audit by 12/31 and issue the financial statements.
Thank you. Any board comments, questions? Mr. Burrow?
Yes, based on the student count in October, are we up or down? What is our
Down.
total student count?
We're down 500 students. We're down 500 students from last year.
So we're
Our-
at 37?
We're 35.7.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Baker?
Okay, so that's where you got your however many million from the MFP count that we would be in deficit of. So if what's the next count? It's October 1 and.
February 1st. would be the
February
next one.
1st. So depending on where we are with enrollment there, how would that, if our budget ends would that affect our end of July budget, our annual budget?
Yes, it's gonna affect it because they will adjust the payment in April. We have 3 payments remaining, April, May, and June. They will adjust it. We don't anticipate a huge change in enrollment, but we don't usually have that between October and February. So, they will adjust it $2 to $3 million and spread that over April, May, and June payments.
Okay, and I know this board gave the directive to Mr. Jabbia to find the money for raises, and he did significant cuts. Where are we in relation to employee versus student count now? As compared to when he did all the work, when he and Mr. Alfonso did the hard look at making the cuts so that we could find the money to give the raises, but with.
I think we're down about 200 to 250 employees from where we were the year before.
And
The
then
last time I looked.
Steve starts in January, Steve and Kim, and Belinda with support services, they start in January, and they will be visiting every principal, taking another look in enrollment and projected enrollment for 26, 27, and then make the appropriate adjustment of personnel, allotments, allocations.
Because
That actually starts in January every year, based on what we're experiencing right now and the projected numbers coming in from feeder schools or whatever the case might be. So we start that again in January, so that Terry and I can give this board a better estimation before we start negotiations with the Federation.
Okay, yeah, that's important, and
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that,
Yes, ma'am.
because, I mean, that's disappointing across the board that we're losing students. I'd be interested, do you happen to know, like, where we stand as a parish as a whole in population? What this tells me, and what little tiny bit of research I've done, the study that we had done last year in terms of looking at our schools and the growth being more north seems to be
Holding.
it seems to be accurate to
It is.
what they have found.
Right.
So, but as the parish population as a whole, do you know if we're increasing or
I think
where
it's
we?
pretty consistent. I can get you that
I
number
just
in the
was
financial
interested.
statement. We have it,
Okay.
based on the last census. But just for the public, we're not the only school district losing students. It's nationwide, it's statewide, so it's everywhere.
It's gonna be a problem, I think.
So, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Fauntleroy?
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Mr. Jabbia or Ms., whoever knows, the 500, is it across the district? Is it little kids, big kids? Is there any kind of pattern?
it's across the district, and it's very few students across the district per school. We have 55 schools.
Right. So like
you know,
10 a school.
10 a school, basically. There's no school where we saw a significant drop in enrollment. We have noticed, and Kim has been tracking it for a while, birth rates are down. Our pre-K kindergarten populations are down, just district-wide compared to where they have been. We have seen a trend in birth rates that Kim has been tracking because of pre-K for a while. But no significant, there's no school where there was some kind of drastic change. We're talking about a handful of kids.
Is there any,
per school.
any data? I think when they drop schools, they put, if they're transferring to homeschool or
Homeschool.
private school. Is it
Homeschool.
homeschool? That was my guess.
We've had a tremendous number of students over the last 4 years drop into homeschool. And I'm gonna tell you, I showed it to Steve the other day. I got a parent sent one in the other day. It's a standard form. It's a drop-in form. It's pre-created. And the homeschool they're dropping to is their last name academy. So it is, it's very interesting, the documentation. And that documentation comes with the same email referencing the same statutes from the same, it's whoever's providing it is providing the form. It's a form, letter, and drop-down form fillable application. It's really, I have to send y'all one. I'll black out the name and I'll send it to you
May I
guys.
add to that? So your comment just brought up another concern. Are you taking this to Bessie? Because there's no accountability for those children getting an education if it's mom and dad academy.
Bessie.
I mean,
it
am I
says-
right? I mean, I'm worried.
It says in the documentation that this is LDOE Bessie policy, that a parent has the right to drop their kid to any approved or unapproved homeschool. They just have to send in that form. That's it.
Do they have to test for accountability?
They do not.
Okay, y'all, I just would urge the public to please get Bessie on board with this, or we are going to have a community of have and have-nots, and it's going to be not good. Children children thrive on structure. School provides structure. Now, look, if homeschool is what is best for your child, please, by all means, do what's best for your child. But not this many kids is it best for them. So if we're going to have children dropping out of school to go to mom and dad academy with no accountability, that I fear for the children who have no voice in this. Please, please, please reach out to your Bessie board members and make some sort of accountability system for this. This is insane.
Ms. Hanson?
Well, it's to the point of dropping it. Mr. Jabia, when you get the email from the parent that says that the child is going, X-child is leaving to mom and dad academy or whatever, and I agree with Ms. Baker, this is not about parents who, I want to homeschool my child, and God bless you for that, and I praise you for that. But for those, do you have an opportunity to email them back?
We do. And the
Okay.
principals, that I'm included with the principals, they don't even take their kid and drop. This is the only documentation they get. Yeah, the principals usually reach out to them, but it's.
Well, my experience has been, I'm sorry to cut you, my experience has been like twofold. When I did work as a supervisor in central office, and they would have parents that come to try to re-enroll their students in the public school system, they would have to test. Am I correct, Dr. Langwood? They have to test. I didn't think everybody, they have to test. And they're put in the grade level based on their test. Parents are not aware of that, okay? And then if they go into high school, they're not just going to get Carnegie credits because somebody, you say you took Algebra 1 or you say you took English 1. They're not going to do that. And I know that there were parents that when this first came out several years ago, the parents were upset because it says it's approved school.
Okay,
And we-
point of order. We
okay.
are talking about the
sorry.
monthly financial statement, so.
You're right. I
So if anyone
digress.
has anything else to say about that, Mr. Kuzan?
I just think what you are talking about is a national trend. And this is just not in St. Timothy Parish. This is nationwide. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Prevost, would you like to continue?
It's the monthly financial statement. So I provided you with those October statements, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, the monthly purchasing report was provided to you. Mr. Randolph's here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board on the monthly purchasing report? Ms. Gallagher?
How many desktop computers were you trying to order? I'm just curious. I've never seen desktop in a long time, so I was just curious.
Right now, we have about 1,200 Windows 10 machines that we're trying to figure out how many need to be replaced, so about 1,200. That's teacher computers
Right.
that do not connect to new line boards that they use for document cameras or things like that.
Okay.
Also clerical, principal, APs, your central office. Yes.
Okay.
All right, next we have public comments. First, Ms. Lee Barrios. Pass? Okay. Mr. Brant Osborne.
Brent Osborne, St. Timothy Federation President. Good evening again, Board, Madam Chair, Superintendent Javia, Administration. I did want to address the sequence earlier. As a trained negotiator, Michelle Hurstis did nothing wrong as far as collective bargaining. It may have looked unconventional, but it was not improper, okay? And that kind of suits her, I guess. The bottom line is, if you don't want to do business that way, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. So she tried something. It looks like the board as a whole is not comfortable. I'm fine with that. Just know, in Jefferson Parish, the Jefferson Federation negotiates directly with their school board. I don't advise that because Superintendent Jabby and his team know operations better. But I'm just saying, there's a whole wide array. And trust me, if it had been improper, you can ask Steve. I would have gone right to him and dealt with that. Ms. Lamy, respectfully, I think you were conflating two things. So in 2020, they were bringing a bargaining agreement. I wasn't president yet, but they wanted to, some employees wanted to separate the COVID stipend from the whole bargaining package. And that was shut down. But I do credit you to this day, because there was something you tried to do during the bus crisis. You kept trying to get a motion on because they wouldn't go to the table and nobody could get anything on the agenda. So you kept making a motion and it just died. So, but you tried, and I appreciate that. But with the current board, y'all can put things on the agenda. So just know the CBA does allow for the federation that you're in negotiations or for the superintendent, and he is your employee. So if you wanted to do it that way, that's fine. It's all covered by the rules. But if that's not what the body's comfortable with, that's fine. So just please remember, it's policy, it's process. I'm sorry. It's process and procedure. It's not personal. You know, I think sometimes we get bogged down in that. But I think it was a noble effort. But I think kind of the board spoke, and we're going to gather data and prepare for that. But I do appreciate you bringing that. And I want to get past kind of that tension, because again, it's supposed to be smooth, and I want it to be smooth. So I just appreciate the conversation, though, back and forth. One thing I do want to look at, because I keep hearing it repeated, that we have an employee attendance problem. Do we have data for that, though? Compared to what? Compared to others? And then my other thing is, are we asking why? Are we asking why? So that would be something to look at. But yeah, if you do have that, Franco, I'd love to see it. But I do appreciate all of what y'all do and what y'all bring. Thank you.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.